guys, today's video is going to be about the topic of affirmations, the length of time. Can you affirm for too long? Is there such a thing as too much affirming? I'm not really talking about like having a million affirmations. I might do a video on that, but it's more so the length of time. You know, can you burn out? Is it going to give you opposite effects? I've had this question a lot before, and although I was quite surprised with the questions, I wanted to discuss it in a video. I think it's a good topic, and some people may have differing opinions. I know some coaches do, and sometimes there is a right or wrong answer. So I'm going to be discussing my own insight and experience and just general knowledge regarding this. So if you're interested, please do keep watching. Do thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. It'd mean a lot to me, and I have tons of manifestation content coming out regularly. And I also offer one-on-one coaching. If you are interested in getting some personal written coaching with me, all the details of what I offer and the pricing is linked below on my Instagram, LOA Coaching. So take a look if you're interested, and let's get started. So first point, I need to stop saying the word so. I noticed this when I was editing. I always start my phrases and sentences with so. The first point I want to discuss is the subconscious mind, the way it works. Now, I haven't done research into this. I'm not really going into quantum physics. I'm not going into, scientific biological analysis. It's more so the fact that the subconscious mind learns through repetition. That's how our beliefs are created. Multiple occasions and events that create a certain reaction, emotion, or thought in our brain that, oh, if I do this, it's dangerous, or this person will react this way if I say this. It's through repetition, through several experiences, or it can be multiple different people saying the same thing and you get the same outcome. So then you create an association with that phrase or the certain wording or a conversation, and you assume you'll always get a certain reaction. So that's kind of how our beliefs and the subconscious mind are formed. It's always through repetition. I don't want to say for 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's not possible for one event to happen, and maybe if it's something really significant or traumatic, but to my knowledge, I don't think you can just experience something once and immediately it becomes a belief. When it comes to a set belief and assumption, it's usually because you've experienced something repetitively, the same emotional reaction has been created, the same thought has arisen, and therefore it becomes an assumption belief. And it's the same with affirmations. The more you repeat them, the more they saturate the subconscious mind. Not all of them will get through because the ego and limiting beliefs and resistance get in the way sometimes and kind of block it from getting in. But that's why you repeat it, hundreds and hundreds of times, either in one go or throughout the day, because some of those, if not most of those, are getting into the subconscious mind. The more you say it every day, the more it realizes, oh, this is the new truth, that, SP does text me every day. I do earn, 100 grand a year, so it's going to start creating that as a belief. It's going to start accepting it because you've saturated your mind over and over and over. And the subconscious mind does not understand logic or objective truth. There is nothing objective to the subconscious mind. Whatever you teach it, whatever you tell it, it becomes true. So if you think about how many people have differing opinions, for example, regarding politics, touchy subjects, politics, religion, or anything, that people get very opinionated about, have opposing beliefs, it's because they see things a certain way. They've been taught a certain way. They've been told all positive things or all negative things. So everyone has slightly differing opinions, right? You'll meet so many people in the world who have so many different opinions, your friends, your family, and that's because through repetition, they've seen and experienced different things, both positive and negative. And that's the same way, all beliefs and assumptions are created, and through your affirmations. If you keep telling your mind only positive things, repetitively telling it, SP loves me, SP loves me, I have my dream car, I have my dream car. It has to become the truth, it has to accept it. It doesn't understand logic, it doesn't understand reasoning, you cannot argue, it's not an intelligence source. It literally just accepts whatever you repeatedly tell it, but it's only through repetition. Obviously, I'm very glad that this isn't the case. You cannot just tell your subconscious one thing and it becomes the truth. It needs to have a pattern created. It doesn't have to be the exact wording, but it has to have the same visuals or wording saturated into the subconscious mind for it to start to accept that as a new belief. I know I've kind of gone off on a tangent here and given some weird examples, but hopefully you guys are keeping track with what I'm saying and it's not too confusing. Essentially, there is no logic. It only understands what you tell it. Whatever you are saturating your mind with, even subliminals, it doesn't have to be you physically saying it out loud or thinking it. Whatever visuals or words are going into your subconscious mind from content you watch, conversations you have, everything, that all combines together to create your beliefs. Basically, leading on to my next point, it cannot create the opposite effect. It cannot create a negative effect. It doesn't have the ability to reason or reject what you're saying. It has to accept it. If you are constantly saying it, it just goes into the mind. Like, that's just the way it is. In terms of the negative outcomes, of course, there can be from affirming too much. It's never going to be regarding your manifestation. Yeah, it can't be. If you do it long term and persist, it has to create a positive outcome regarding your affirmation. But it could create emotional or mental burnout. For example, the only real danger of affirming for too long is that you're going to get a headache, or you're going to feel exhausted, or you're going to feel frustrated and possibly feel resentment towards your desire, towards your SP, towards yourself. Be like, oh, why do I have to sit here for 10 hours a day affirming? I'm sick of this. He doesn't deserve it. She doesn't deserve it. Like, you might start to get those kind of thoughts. That is literally the only danger of affirming too long, that you will have some kind of negative emotional or mental effect on you individually, but it will never stop your manifestation from coming. The way the universe is, the way the world is, parallel realities, whatever you want to describe it as, quantum physics, literally, those things cannot be affected or changed and think, oh wait, look at Alexa sitting there in her house in London on planet Earth. She's affirmed for 12 hours a day. That's way too much. She's forcing it. She's forcing the change to happen. So we're not going to give her desire. There is no power doing that. There is no ability for that to happen. It's literally up to you. You're the creator. So if you sit there all day long, and if you have the time and you choose to, and affirm for your desire, and you decide that's what you want to do, you're going to just saturate your mind all day long with just thoughts of this one desire. You can do that, and it's going to positively affect the subconscious mind. Now, you do want to take breaks and have a healthy lifestyle, so I'm not recommending spending every waking hour doing that, but you can, and it won't harm your manifestation. The next point that could be negative is that it becomes robotic. You basically could lose the meaning of the words you're saying. Like, if you repeat a word tons of times over, like 20, 30 times in a row, just one word, it kind of starts to lose meaning and just sounds like gibberish and letters thrown together. So the same thing could happen with your affirmations. You'll become bored, it becomes robotic, you lose that spark and excitement. So I would personally recommend, ideally, a couple hours a day. I really don't think you need to go more than a handful of hours per day. Maybe maximum up to 10 hours a day. I really don't think there's a need to go affirm for longer than that. And the effect of it is just gonna feel really weird, like it will become robotic. It will be like, SP loves me, SP loves me. And you won't even be thinking about the words you're saying. It just becomes a pattern and habit. The words will kind of start to lose meaning to you as you're saying them. Not to your subconscious mind, but to you it will just feel, you won't get the visuals, you won't get the excitement. It'll feel forced or robotic. Like, because I know when I've affirmed for hours at a time, it becomes tedious. It becomes like a task, like an errand I have to do, a task that I'm forcing myself to do. So you want to enjoy it still. You don't want to force yourself into doing it. That kind of defeats the purpose of going through the process, because you want to learn and feel excited and confident and powerful. You don't want to feel like you're forcing it to happen. So yeah, you don't need to go more than a couple hours of affirming for each topic per day. I really don't think so. And you can take breaks and get up to 10 hours of affirming a day if you have a whole day free with nothing, you just sat at home. But you do want to take breaks. You want to give your mind a break. You want to sit down, have a glass of water. That's the only danger, that you're going to burn yourself out. You're going to emotionally feel exhausted, mentally exhausted. you know, it could create negative emotions for you, which again, not going to impact your manifestation, but just for you individually, it's not going to be enjoyable. So I personally think that's literally the only downside of affirming too much. Also remember the point that there is no logic in manifestation. There is no, yeah, your subconscious mind doesn't understand logic. The process and the unfolding of your manifestation is not logical. It will happen however it needs to happen. If you say that SP is, you know, SP's height has changed, or SP is moving to your country and finding a job in X industry because that's where you think they would thrive and your relationship would thrive, guess what? They're gonna be led to that point. It's going to happen. There is no logic. The circumstances are irrelevant. So affirming too much, that it doesn't really exist. There's no such thing. When it comes to your manifestation, the more you affirm, the faster it will manifest, the faster things will conform. So just to finalize, there is no, you know, push and pull effect. There's no, oh, if you affirm, you know, if you go over this amount of hours per day and you obsess over your manifestation, it's going to be negative, it's going to hurt you, you won't get it. It doesn't work that way. It literally works on assumptions and beliefs. The faster you can create the belief, the faster things will change in the 3D, in your emotions, in your thoughts, in your mental diet, just everything. The limiting beliefs you have will be reduced and removed. Everything is defined by your assumptions and your beliefs. So there really isn't, push and pull effect, as I said, where if you go over a certain amount or if you overdo the affirmations and repeat them 20,000 times a day, that is going to have the opposite effect. There is no such thing. That's not the way law of assumption works. It's a literal law. You can't change it. It's a law of the universe. It's just the way things work. The more you saturate your mind with a certain idea or belief or thought, the faster it has to become true in your physical reality. So yeah, hopefully that clarifies it for you guys if you are concerned. Again, do take care of yourself. You don't need to force yourself to do a certain amount of affirming. A couple hours a day would be ideal because then you're really focusing and spending a lot of time affirming, which means less time for opposing thoughts. And yeah, you're really dedicating yourself to it. You're persisting. So yeah, anywhere between 30 minutes to a couple hours, I would say is the ideal amount. But if you go way over and you want to focus your entire week on just affirming, you can do that, you know? It's up to you. It's your decision. So I hope this clarified and was useful or inspirational. Do thumbs up, subscribe, turn on the notification bell if you enjoyed and if you want to see more content. And I'll see you next time. Bye.